In the earlier programs, we have studied classes and objects, right? Where we have created only one object. But one object can contain data of only one entity. Like if you create employee class and you create object E1, see this is an employee class, and you create its object as E1, that means it will hold the data of only one employee. Okay. And if I want to contain data of another employee, then I will create another object E2. Fine. And for the third employee, I will create third object E3 and so on. Fine. What if I have 1,000 employees in my company? Then I need to create 1,000 variables, E1, E2, E3, E4 up to E1000. So it will be a very difficult task to handle all the 1,000 objects like this. So one solution to this problem is to create array of objects, where we'll create array of object like employee E, and in square brackets we'll mention the size 1,000. This is how we can create objects, 1,000 objects at one go, where it can contain data of 1,000 employees. You should know that every object contains data, members, and member functions which are associated with it. Suppose if I create E1, that means this ID, name, and salary, along with these two member functions, insert and display, are associated with E1. All these 5 members, either data members or member functions. Similarly, for employee 2, all these 5 members will be associated. Similarly, for employee 3 also. Fine. And if I create array of objects like this, that means every employee will have these 5 members. I hope it is clear up to this point to you. After that, let's understand through this program. We'll create a class employee, and it is having 3 data members, ID, name, and salary. Okay. And this is a data member. It's not a member function. It's a data member. We have written here in comments, what does this mean? What does this mean? You can give comments by using 2 double slashes, which I have written here. With 2 slash, you can write the comment, float salary. And in the public section, we have declared 2 member functions, insert and display, where insert will input the data into ID, name, and salary, and display will display the results only. Okay. So these functions will display, they are merely for input and output. Okay. No computation or no any complex thing has been done in this program. It is a simple program with just an input and output to let you know the concept of array of objects. So we have created these 5 members, 3 member functions, and 3 data members and 2 member functions, where insert is defined outside the class, which I have discussed you in the last class, how to define a function outside the class by using scope resolution operator. Void employee, scope resolution operator, and then insert. Here we'll input the data of these 3 members. Enter ID. This is a message using cout, and using cin we'll input the ID. Cin name and cin salary. All these 3 members will be input by the user. And in the main section over here, int main, we have created an array of objects which is having 3 members, E with the object size 3. Okay. Whenever there is some array or concept of array occurs, then we need to use loops. You should know that, or you have been already studied in C and C language, which you have studied in first year. Wherever array appears, then you need to process it by using loops. So if there are 3 members, so this loop will run from I is equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. Then we need to access the input function and then output function. First of all, we'll call the input function for first employee. The loop will start from 0 because array index always start from 0. Therefore, the loop will go from 0, 1, and 2. Initially, it is true. 0 is less than 3, it is true. And control will go inside it. And it will call E0 dot insert. That means it is calling for the first employee. Okay. And the control will go to the insert function over here. Over here. Control will go over here. And it will take the input of ID, name, and salary for first employee, which is E0. After taking the input, it will come back to this loop again. And loop will be updated. Now it will become I plus plus 1, 1 less than 3, which is true again. And it will call E1 dot insert. That means data of second employee. Then data of second employee will be input, ID, name, and salary. After that, control will come back again and loop will be augmented to 2 is less than 3 true. Then it will call data for third employee. Now you will get the input of the third employee, ID, name, and his salary. Then the control will come back and now I will become 3. Now 3 less than 3, which is false. Now this loop will be terminated. And now we have input of 3 users, 3 employees, E1, E0, E1, and E2. Fine. So this is how we take the input of 3 employees by using array of objects and loops. By this way, input will be taken by the user. And after that, when I want to display it, this is a message, simply a message for displaying the output. So how this message will be displayed? Output, and again we'll call the display function by putting a loop around it, I0, I less than 3, I plus plus, same as we have done for input function, EI dot display. Initially it will call E0 dot display and display the result, which is shown above over here. The control will come over here when this call occurs. It will display ID, name, and salary of employee. Okay. Then again, control will come back and it will ask for data of second employee, which is E1, E1 dot display, then E2 dot display. Then the data of all 3 employees will be output on the screen. So this is how we can use array of objects in a C program, in a C++ program, for taking input and processing the values of more than one objects. Now let's see the output, how this program actually executes. We'll go to execute, then compile and run. Let me show you the output screen. This is output screen. Here I'll give the input. Enter ID 101, enter name Roy, enter salary. Now it is asking data of second employee. Enter ID, name Robin, and salary, let's suppose 22,000. Now it is asking data of third employee. 103, and let's suppose his salary is 25,000. Now I have given input of 3 employees. This is just input, and now when I will press enter, the output will be displayed. See the output. See output 101 Roy 20,000. Then this is the output of second employee, and this is for third employee. If I want to format the output, I need to put here and L. So let me do it. I'll change it. Output. We'll write here and L. Let's run the program again. ID 101, 102, 103, any name. So you can see the output over here. Fine. By this way, you can take input of any number of employees. I have just done for 3 employees. Otherwise, you can take input of any number of employees and then you can process the data. Okay. I hope you understand the concept of array of objects.